Hey everyone, Jefferson Graham here. We are going to talk about why you might consider leading a photo walk and how to get them all set up. A photo walk is an organized session where a bunch of like-minded people go out and walk and take pictures together. I love talking about travel photography. I love talking about photo walks. I'm a Los Angeles-based writer photographer, and I have a series on YouTube called, would you believe it, Photo Walks TV. I can come up with many good reasons for why you would consider going on a photo walk or hosting one. You're all wondering how to find a photo walk near you. My recommendation for everybody is to do it yourself, to be a good Samaritan and be the organizer, because there is a dearth. We need more photo walks. We need more organization. We need people like you to say, hey, I'll lead it. It can either be a social occasion or a teaching occasion. It's really up to you. But go out and do it, and I'll tell you why. First of all, it's easy to do. You go on Eventbrite, which is pretty much the #1 site for organizing and setting local events. It's free to use. Meetup, Airbnb experiences, your local camera store, or your blog or social media. This is what the main page of Eventbrite looks like. And you type in photo walk and see if anything's happening in your area. If it's not, time for you to set something up. Airbnb Experiences is the other place that many photographers are going on to organize tours and to make a little money. Airbnb is a lot harder to use as a potential organizer than Eventbrite because you have to have reviews, you have to have a promo reel. You don't really have to do any of that with Eventbrite, and people will just go on Eventbrite looking for what's going on. I believe this guy is doing old history, Hollywood, and he has a ticket price of $90. Speaking of pricing, 3 questions for you: how to set up a photo walk. Do you charge or is it free? What time do you hold it, and how many people to limit it to? If you're going to be free, you'll get more people signing up. That's a given. If you charge, you will get fewer people signing up, but they will show up. When it's free, half of the people that sign up show up. It's happened to me every time, and there's pretty much nothing you can do about it. If they pay $1, $2, $5, $10, whatever, they've committed. They've gone through the motions, and it will make them more likely to actually show up. I would recommend starting by charging and see if anybody signs up, because you're going to get the commitment. I'd rather get the commitment than a larger group. The optimum size group has got to be, 10 people, maybe 15. Maybe you'll get 10 or 15 if you charge. You'll certainly get more if you don't charge. I've had as many as 40 to 50 show up when it's free. This is what your event image looks like on Eventbrite. Look at the time. This was the first one I did. And I set it for 6:30 in the morning because that's when the light was best. And people actually showed. I've since learned that the optimum time would be 10 a.m. on a Saturday morning. That's when people want to come out, 11 a.m. on a Sunday. I've also done them in the evening. My most recent one was Thursday night at 6 because I wanted to show the day turning into night, and people arrived. Let's talk about how to set you up on Eventbrite. First, click the Create Event tab. Then you type in the name of your photo walk, and you put in the type and category and your tags, the location, your name, photo walk, stuff like that. You put in a picture, and in tickets, you choose whether it's free or it's paid, and then you click publish and plug it. Very important is that you choose the location, and you choose the location well. If you can read my fine print here, I did not do a good job. I said Griffith Observatory and the address. Well, that's fine, but where? Are we meeting in front of the building? Are we meeting on the side of the building? Are we meeting in the parking lot? Where are we meeting? I would recommend that you put a picture in of the exact spot that you're going to meet. I did this photo walk in San Francisco at Fort Point, which is right at the foot of the Golden Gate Bridge. And I said Fort Point. And I assumed everybody knew that that meant we were meeting at the gift store. They didn't. 50 people signed up. 1 showed up. I knew there was something wrong when I only had 1 customer. And it turned out that the rest of the people were at another location. I checked my email and I found out. So we hustled, we got together, it all worked out. But in the future, put a picture, if you're going to do this, put the exact address, and then email everybody 2 or 3 times to remind them. You put your time and your date, the time that you're starting, and when tickets will no longer be on sale, and you click publish from there. You put in a picture. If you can do one with a nice graphic like I've got there, all the better. You'll see the front door of the Griffith Observatory. I think that's where we should meet. Next, what are you going to tell attendees? Some important things to think about. For starters, where are you going to go? Okay, what's your route? I would recommend using photo sites to research this. Check out Flickr, check out Instagram, check out photographer blogs, check out Pinterest, and 500 pics. This is 500 pics. I typed in Paris, and they showed me the Seine, they showed me Champs-Élysées, and they showed me the Eiffel Tower. But there's obviously other areas. Pinterest, our friend Scott Kelby highly recommends Pinterest because it's so photocentric. I typed in North Beach, San Francisco, where I did a photo walk recently. Flickr, obviously, great photos. And I want to talk now about routes. So when I did the Mission District in San Francisco, we did this alley called Balmy Alley, which has all these great murals. And this was really a perfect route for me because there's no left, there's no right. You start at one end of the alley, you walk to the other. So that was a pretty cool route. My experience has been that as photographers, we will walk from A to G, maybe A to J. We won't walk much further. When I have paid portrait clients, they'll walk from A to B, maybe A to C, not much further. So you want to think about that. In Fort Point, we explored this area right under the San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge. And at the end, they said, can't we continue? So we walked over the bridge. If you're going to bring a drone, I wouldn't recommend it. There's many no drone spots, including at the Golden Gate Bridge. You can fly, no one will give you a ticket, but once you post that video, they'll find you and you'll pay big money. There's money to be made by leading photo walks. I was surprised at how few of them I could actually find typing in Chicago and New York and Boston and Denver and so many other places. There is a need for you to be leading one. You can make money. Here's a woman in New York who does a photo walk in Central Park. She takes people around to some of her favorite spots. She charges $90 a head. Now, I wouldn't charge $90 a head. I would charge 10 or 20. And think about it. If you get 20 people, you charge $20, you're at $400. It's pretty good for 1 hour's work. Let's go on a photo walk together. Let's imagine that everybody out there is going to lead one and is going to be composing an email to the attendees. Let's start with reminding everybody to charge up. Those of us who are photographers know to charge our batteries before we leave the house and before we go on a shoot, and maybe even take a second battery with us. The smartphone crowd, and about 80% of all the people who've come to my photo walks have had smartphones. They're not as savvy about showing up with a fully charged camera on a shoot. When I did my Thursday night at 6, how many of those people arrived with a charged up phone? Because they've been using it all day. So remind people to charge up and remind them to bring accessory power. This $30 baby from Anker will save your life. It'll give you another 8 hours of juice. Clear your memory cards or make room on the phone. Obviously a given, we're going to clear our cards before every shoot. We don't make room on the phone before every shoot. For the iPhone crowd out there, just go to Settings, General, iPhone Storage, and the iPhone will show you how much room you have. Pack light. I'm a big believer in packing light. I don't believe in bringing multiple cameras, multiple lenses to a photo walk. I believe we should take one camera, one lens, and really focus on the experience. I will admit that I'm cheating here because I actually have two cameras. There's an iPhone in my pocket, and then I'm holding the Insta360 X2 in my hand. How far are you going to walk? As I said, A to B, A to C, A to J. What's your route going to be? And finally, where's lunch? The high point of any photo walk is getting together afterwards, sitting down, talking about what you've just done, learning about each other, looking at each other's photos, and you'll also have to consider, will they have room for 10 or 20 people? What's your role? Are you an educator or are you a colleague? My experience has been that most people arrive and want about 15 minutes of education and 45 minutes of shooting. Most people just want to go out there and shoot. If you are the leader, here's how to start. I usually just show off the camera menu on the smartphone because most people, they know that they can open their phone, they know they can take a picture by clicking the button, but they don't know much more. And they don't know what 0.5 is. They don't know what 1x is. They don't know that those three little circles on the front of an iPhone are actually lenses, and they don't know what they do. They don't realize that it's ultra wide, medium, and close up. So I tell them, I explain photo basics, I explain exposure, and then I get the group shot out of the way, because the odds are that if you're walking for an extended period of time, you will lose people. They will just go off on their own. So I try to get the group shot done right away, because it always looks better with a bigger crowd than a smaller crowd, right? I do portraits of everybody. That's a great way to break the ice. Here I'm showing portrait mode and blurring the background. This is portrait mode in LA's Arts District, set against these beautiful murals. And at the bottom right, the woman with the gray hair, she's in front of the San Francisco Ferry Building, which is one of the great places in San Francisco. I tell everybody to shoot wide, medium, and close up. We're shooting digital, get 3 shots of everything. One of them is going to be right, or all of them will be right, really. Here's an example, wide, medium, and close up. I'd say every shot is good. None of them are bad. And also in my language, there's no such thing as bad photography. If you're in focus, if you're exposed correctly, you can shoot at any angle you want to. You could have the camera to the side, you could have it in the middle. There's no right, there's no wrong. In this case, we've got 3 ways to look at it, like a director would look at a film, right? The director wants those 3 shots. I'm partial to the wide shot. Shoot at ground level, shoot at eye level, shoot it above, do it all. People would rather have you show than tell, okay? So if you're gonna talk about some tips, show them. When I selected the route for our North Beach photo walk, I decided I would do it on 1 block and a roof, and you'll see the roof in a minute. This alley that's right there, right off Green Street, is a great place for a group portrait. Cars are not running up and down the street. There's a mural up on the wall. I could have stayed just in the alley for 1 hour. That's what I was telling you about walking from A to Z. You don't need to walk from A to Z. You can walk from A to B and have a really good time. There was so much there to work with. Green Street was where I was showing people day to night, watching the scene change once the neon signs were turned on. But we left there right as this started to go to the roof. You can't go wrong with parking garage. You cannot go wrong. This is one of the best spots anywhere to get overhead shots when you left your drone at home. Check where you can actually go up on the roof, because it's a great shot. And as I told you, we left Green Street. We got here at 6:45. The sun had just gone down. Look at this. We have pink clouds. We got blue. It couldn't be more beautiful. I couldn't be happier with this shot. St. Peter's and Paul Church, and all I had to do was take the elevator to the 5th floor. So I thought it was so great. And now we're back in North Beach, where the sky is a little darker and the signs are a little brighter. Our friend Chris Warner-Carey from Half Moon Bay, he had fun taking the exact same shot, 620, 710, showing the difference in light. Which do you prefer? Because I know which one I like, and it would be 710. That's North Beach just 15 minutes later. Pretty cool night shot, don't you think? Now that you've taken the photo walk, now comes the fun part. Now we're going to sit down and we're going to look at all the pictures, and we're going to share the pictures. And the question is, where are you going to share them? You want to have the most pictures possible. You want everyone to participate. For the Chinatown photo walk, I did a magazine on Flipboard, and I made sure that everybody submitted their work on their phones while we were at lunch, which made it really cool. We got a lot of good pictures. You can do a group pool on Flickr, which is pretty easy to do. The most popular way to do any of these sharing photos is with a private group on Facebook. You all know about the algorithm. You know the things that Facebook does to people, but their private groups are pretty good. You put your picture up there, everybody puts their picture up there, and they all hear about it when new photos are submitted. Facebook gets a lot of knocks, but they do private groups really well. Let's do a quick recap. When you go on a photo walk, you'll make new friends. You'll have fun, because in my case, I'm in Manhattan Beach, which is a suburb of Los Angeles. How can you not have fun being on the beach, right? You'll feel safe being in a large group of photographers. You'll learn, whether by osmosis or whether somebody is actually teaching you something. You will learn from every photographer that's there, because every photographer does things differently, and you'll see how they do it. You'll be motivated to get up out of your chair and get out into the real world with your camera, and to keep up with the other photographers. I think that's pretty great motivation. It's great to get together with people and critique our work and learn from the experience. Now, how about making some money? You can make money leading photo walks, because not enough of them are being held. And we need photo walks in every community all the time, once a month at least. What do you say? And if you don't want to make money, volunteer, do a good thing. Every time I've done a photo walk, people have said, "Thank you, Jeff. Thank you for doing this." So do a good thing, volunteer. Now, of course, the last question is, where's lunch?